Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/WCSN312. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
They say humans are social animals. They can't live alone. But you can live pretty well by yourself. I tell you, instead of feeling alone in a group, it's better to have real solitude all by yourself.
Chicago, thank you, and welcome to WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network. I'd like to take this moment to talk about our social media outlets and the platforms you can listen and find us on. You can follow us on Twitter at WCSN312. Like us on our Facebook at Windy City Sports Network or at WCSN312. We also recently just joined Instagram, and you can follow us there at WCSN312 as well. We post all our shows to listen to on our social media outlets. If you're driving to work, you're driving back home from work, working out, or just chilling at home, pop on your headphones. You can listen to us on many platforms. Number one is iTunes. Our goal is to become a top 100 podcast. We need your help. By going on iTunes, rate us by giving us 5 stars and subscribe. We're on Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, our original platform, SoundCloud, Overcast, Castbox, PodBean, the podcast app, and most recently, Google Play. Search for Windy City Sports Network and you'll find us there. All platforms are free to you and available on iOS or Android phones, tablets, Apple TV, or any mobile devices or computers. We are beginning to do quick live pre-shows on our social media outlets, so make sure you follow or like us there. We will be live on Periscope, which is via our Twitter, and Facebook Live before every live broadcast. Lastly, you can watch us live. Interact with us via the chat rooms on our newly launched YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search Windy City Sports Network, and subscribe to our channel. You can watch us live or watch any of our older podcasts there. We created our YouTube channel for you, our fans, to interact with us during our shows. Ask us any questions, and we will spew our opinions. We will be broadcasting CSCR, Chicago Sports Crunch Radio, every Friday at 7 p.m. live. And bi-weekly, every Wednesday at 7 p.m., Wrestle Talk Radio will be live. Only on our YouTube channel, so subscribe now. If you have any questions, you can use our social media outlets or email us at windycitysportsnetwork@gmail.com. Like I have said many times before on this show, this is a passion project. We don't make any money off of this, and we have expenses, equipment, distribution costs, etc. If you guys enjoy our show and would like to buy us a beer, you can, and it would be greatly appreciated. Go to our Patreon page, become our patron, and you can donate as much as you want. We will have rewards updated monthly in return. Just go to our Patreon page at Windy City Sports Network. Again, remember, we are WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network, built by the fans, for the fans. We would like to thank all our affiliates and sponsors for supporting WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network. Here's a quick message from one of our affiliates. Thinking of starting your own podcast? Don't know what software or distributor to use? It's real easy and simple with PodBean. Go to podbean.com/WCSN312. PodBean is the world's leading podcast publishing platform. Over 100,000 people worldwide choose PodBean to create their podcasts. Your all-in-one podcasting solution. With PodBean, you create professional podcasts in minutes without any programming knowledge. Best of all, everything is mobile ready right from the start. You get unlimited podcasting, comprehensive stats, custom branding, reliable media hosting. You can share almost everywhere and get huge audience engagement. The community in PodBean is over 172,000 podcasters, over 5.8 million episodes, and has 5.4 billion downloads. Plans go as low as $9 a month for unlimited audio and $29 a month for unlimited video and audio. If you go through our link, you get your first month free. Give them a try. Go to www.podbean.com/WCSN312.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CSCR, Chicago Sports Crunch Radio. This is the show that brings to you the highlights of the sports world and industry, from the NBA, NFL, MLB, EPL, and so much more. CSCR is here to focus on local sports in the Windy City, from the Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. We're here to talk sports to the true fans of Chicago. We are live here from Studio One at WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network. This is CSCR, Chicago Sports Crunch Radio.
So, Tom Chris isn't here.
Yes.
And we actually, without a problem, like without not even one glitch. It's amazing.
Yep, he's not here, and I'm so glad.
Yeah. Supposedly he had dinner with Monica. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just sick and tired of working for his stupid production company. I wish this wasn't his.
Yeah, baby steps here. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's fire him. Fire.
But whatever. It's funny how he goes around and tells everybody how he's dating Monica too and stuff.
I know, he delusional. It's all good. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what happens. Go in corporate world and they can't be together.
I mean, Nick, we all had an imaginary girlfriend at some point, right?
I don't know. I don't think this one's imaginary. Welcome, guys. CSCR. We are about 10 minutes late, but this is episode 35. I know we've been gone for a while. We came back Wednesday to WTR and had a good show. This is CSCR. We've been gone for about 2 weeks, I think, 2.5 weeks, and we've been gone since I think the NFL draft. So we're going to go over some of that towards the end of the show. We're going to talk about NBA playoffs, which is the hottest thing right now. There's some other topics here and there. I think that we're going to talk about the NBA draft, where the Bulls came in. We're going to talk about the Platini news, I think, which is what we might start with. But there's a lot of stuff going on, man. It's going to be like a packed show. We're going to try to get it all in about an hour, because at 8 o'clock, and that's actually 40 minutes. So at 8 o'clock, we're doing a new segment, which is going to be called Seinfeld Episode 1. And the reason we called it Seinfeld is because it's really Seinfeld was a show about nothing. But regardless, we're going to talk about the number one show in the world currently.
So excited for that
right now, which is Cobra Kai. And I know for people our age that remember in our youth, Karate Kid, it's a spinoff of that. We're going to talk about details and stuff like that. I don't know if we're going to do spoilers, though. Should we do? Yeah,
absolutely. We're recovering full blast. If you didn't watch it, shame on you.
Yeah, because I think people who are going to listen to this anyways later already have watched it.
Yeah, it is a review, right?
So yeah, it's a review. So we're going to go over, talk about it, and then talk about just the regular stuff going on in the world. Nothing really super negative, but I want to talk about the royal wedding a little bit, and just other stuff like that. But in any case, whatever comes at the top of our head, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to spew our opinions. Look, hop.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, he's here.
He hasn't killed you yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
See, he's here all the time.
He looks
now.
kind of creepy. I think he's looking at me, man.
Hold on, let me clear it here
Seriously.
a little bit. So
There's like a little glare.
No, here, this is even better. Look, put the mic.
Oh
this way.
no.
Yes.
They're ridiculous.
That's awesome. If we can get the headset around him too, that would be even better.
Yeah.
That'd
Was
be
he
nice.
using this?
Sorry for the guys listening to the podcast, because I know we get more listeners via our podcast than we do in our live video feed. So it's just funny. If you guys can subscribe to our YouTube channel, you guys can see all of it. But I apologize for the people listening on podcast versions and stuff. But regardless, we got to show the shirts.
Let's do it.
So I don't have all of them. I left the WTR shirt at home. I'll bring it next Wednesday when we do the WTR. But this is that's the WCSN. Now, it comes in 5 different colors. So
I know purple's your favorite.
now this is actually like a blue, dude. And then the back obviously is the @ for our Twitter account, Facebook account, and all that stuff. But these are they're not up on Bonfire anymore. I am going to put them back up. So we'll have these back up. We'll have the WTRs. WTR and Hop actually had the best selling shirts on Bonfire. So those will be back up. And then we will have, that's Jackman calling, believe it or not.
Oh my God.
He's listening, he said. So whatever the case is, Jackman couldn't make it today. We were trying to get him here. That's why that's an empty seat there, and Hop filled in for him. So
yeah.
And then Wild Bill couldn't make it either. So Hop, obviously. That's why it's always good to have Hop here. You know what I mean?
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You like the logo with the bats and stuff? Cubs hat?
Yeah.
So what did you say? He looked like he looks like
some kind of serial killer, some kind of creep.
Like what?
Yeah.
He does look a little creepy up there when you look at him.
I mean, he's looking right at me.
No matter where you
not
go.
in a good way, yeah.
No matter where you go, his eyes follow you. It's like, dude, stop looking at me. It's like he's looking at the back of my head right now.
Yeah. It's awkward, but it's okay.
What else was there? Oh, I had a new intro for you, Pistolaros.
Really?
I had a couple.
Please don't tell me Tom Chris picked it out.
No. You know how we had the love songs for Tom Chris?
Yeah.
Because he was dating, but I had some newer ones.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see if I can find them. You got to tell me if you like these or not.
All right, cool.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Cactus Jack.
3 Faces.
He says bang bang. All right, so that's one. Do you like that?
It's not bad.
All right, the other one we had was, which I think, oh, wait a minute. I didn't play it for you when you were here?
No.
Hold on, let me get the other one. I like the other one. I think we all agreed to do the other one. But that was, I thought, was better for you. Let me see if I can find it. Pistolaros. It's the sound effects store, as Taz would say. All right, you ready?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Didn't I play this one for you? No. I don't even know what language this is.
Hey.
If anyone's out there,
South Serbian.
That's what I thought it
Yeah.
was.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
You like that one better?
Yeah.
All right.
That's me. Just makes me want to bounce my shoulders up and
All right.
down.
So let's
Get up and
into
do
it.
some cola.
So we can finish this quick. We got about 40 minutes. It's
All right,
7:20.
let's go.
We got about 20 minutes. We're going
Let's
to try to
go.
get it over with. So the first thing I want to start with. Well, let's go to the NBA playoffs. Real quick.
Warriors are winning it. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So We actually went through an NBA breakdown when we were going through before the playoffs even started. And I'm going to break it down by bracket. So Houston and Minnesota, we all picked Houston. Everyone was on the same page there. And obviously, thank you to Pat, the designer from Windy City to the Breeze. If you guys can follow him on his YouTube channel as well, too. I called him the Stephen A. Smith of Chicago. The guy was very knowledgeable, right?
He was.
You would say.
He was good.
The guy was hugely knowledgeable.
Good input.
And
good insight.
We're going to have him back on again. Obviously, he's huge on football too, so we'll probably have him on to talk about football as well soon. Then we had OKC and Utah, and we were sort of split. I think me and Chris ended up going OKC because of age, and then you and what's his name, Pat the designer, ended up going with Utah. Utah ended up taking it, and that was actually a pretty good series. I liked this series. The one I think that surprised a lot of people. Portland and the Pelicans swept them.
Yep.
That was pretty disgraceful and sad to see that happen to Portland. But I mean, it is what it is. That happened. That was a big surprise for me. And the Pelicans ended up advancing. Golden
4-0.
State, San Antonio. Golden State. I mean, there you can't. I know you picked them to go all the way, but
I know
it's.
Yep.
And then it didn't help that Pop's wife passed away as well during this time, and just made things worse. So I'm not even going to talk too much about them, anyways. So then going into the West, and we'll keep advancing. It was Houston and Utah, and that was actually an okay series. But Houston obviously was the better team, and Houston came out top of that one. What did you think on that?
Yeah, they just had more firepower, and Rubio was out, so that was big for them.
In a way, Pat called it, and he said it right when he said, "Hey, you know what? Houston's the kind of team that says, hey, we're going to go out there and we're going to score 175 points, try and catch us."
Yep.
It's not about defense for Houston. It's about scoring 150 points and try to catch up with us, and that's all it is basically. Second up was the Pelicans and Golden State. I thought it would have been a little bit more tighter. Golden State just sort of killed them.
Yep, same story. They just do what.
The matchups just didn't work out for the Pelicans, and Nikolai Mirotic's shaven beard didn't work out.
Yep.
And Golden State went in there, and then I think all of us called it was going to be Houston and Golden State, and we're looking at that right now, and it's 1-1, and it's pretty good. So, game one, Golden State obviously took. Game two, Houston did the whole philosophy of, again, we're going to score 130 points, try and catch up with us, and Golden State couldn't. So I was talking to Jackman. Jackman still thinks the Warriors are still going to come up top on that one. I'm Houston. I actually picked Houston to go all the way. I thought it was Houston's year. I'm still going to go for Houston. And today is perfect because none of them are playing. They're going to play tomorrow. So we'll see what catches up there. But, I mean, what's your take on Houston Golden State? Who do you think?
Well, let me tell you. I mean, let's look at it objectively, right? First of all, the two games were played in Houston, right? And they split it, right?
Yes.
If Houston hadn't won those games, nobody could even say Houston could win.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The next two games are in Golden State or Oakland, let's call it.
They have to split there.
They're not going to beat Golden State at home. They're just not going to.
If they can take one game from them,
if they can, it'll be a series.
Then I think it's going to be a 7-game series.
I think it'll go 6, and Golden State's going to take it. Here's why. Let me tell you the reason why. Golden State and Houston pretty much play the same game. Give Houston an edge on the defense, right? A little bit. Golden State simply does what Houston does better than they do. So if they're both high-scoring teams and they go off, man, a 12-point lead will evaporate like it's nothing against Golden State. They're scary for that reason.
Against both teams, really. I mean, if you're looking at over a 10-point lead, I mean, it can disappear in a minute and a half.
Yeah, but you got to look at their weapons, and this is where Golden State takes the cake. Other than Harden and him getting 40-some-odd points, who do they have that can go off?
That's the thing. Capella really hasn't stepped up these last 2 games. So and those are guys that CP3 has been actually doing pretty decent.
And that's funny because CP3, that's not his role on that team. He's a creator. You know?
So, I mean, I think if you start seeing Capella wake up, you might start seeing Houston do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, they're relying on guys like Ariza. Eric Gordon's got to do more work, too.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
He does. Definitely. He reminds me of Eric Bledsoe on Milwaukee.
Yes.
And why they sort of failed. But it is what it is. But that's going to be a good series. And I think whoever wins out of that, I think we're all calling it that's probably who's going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I would say that I still got to see some more games.
All right. So then out of the East, we are looking at it was Toronto and Washington. All of us ended up going Toronto. That actually that series was sort of closer and more than I anticipated it, at least. So Toronto ended up going. Cleveland and Indiana shocked me.
You guys were very wrong on that one. All four of you.
And
all three of you.
We all said 4-0 sweep Cleveland.
I said
4-1. I ended up rooting for the Pacers. I wanted the Pacers to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name?
Stevenson.
Oh, he did good too, but Oladipo, whatever. Oladipo was lights out. Like, that guy was like, you thought he was probably one of the top 3 players in the NBA today, the way he was playing on that team. So very interesting. I was rooting for Indiana. We'll see what happens and if they can keep that team together. And what's his name? Sabonis's kid.
Yes.
Something else, man. That guy really shocked me as well. Yeah.
Bogdanovich had a couple good games.
Yeah. So, I mean, Indiana hopefully can keep it together and they can have some better seasons. So then you had Philadelphia and Miami. Philly beat Miami. Boston and Milwaukee. That was a series. And a lot of us thought, I think all of us picked Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And Boston, man, surprising everybody right now.
Yep.
So Wild Bill, I think, said it best when he ended up saying that, you know what? This team is without their 2 top players, too, on top of it. So can you imagine next year what those guys are going to look like when you got Hayward and Irvin back? That's going to be ridiculous for the Celtics. But that young team is so this is all I can say about Boston right now. Their coaching is top class.
Stevens,
right, top class. Disciplined, good. The players listen, and they bought into this coach. All of them. There's not one guy like in the Cleveland Cavaliers, like LeBron. When Lou says something, then someone disagrees. No, whatever Steven says, that's what happens. And they all bought in, and they all look at him at a higher level. So, and these kids run, man. I mean, look at Smart and the way he was playing defense. I mean, that's just nuts.
Yeah, he maintained LeBron.
Yeah.
And wow. Especially in game 1.
I mean, we haven't seen like a shutdown guy like that in a while on one of the best players in the league.
Yep.
So then you had Toronto and Cleveland in the second round. And Toronto did exactly, I think, what we all said, that they choke.
I thought they were going to do it. I
did too.
And
they just choked. They couldn't make it. And now there's rumors of DeRozan potentially being traded now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the offseason there.
He can't carry a team. I mean, I've said it before.
I think it's time. I think it's time for Toronto to cut it too.
Give him a shot.
Yeah, it's time to move on for Toronto as a team and say, we ain't going to go with this guy. So, and to think about it, you're going to get more for your value trading him away than you are anybody else. Yeah. Then you ended up getting it was Philly and Boston, and that was a hell of a series as well too. And I was rooting for Philly. I wanted Philly. I had actually Philly going to the semis against Cleveland, and that didn't happen. Boston surprised us again.
Yep.
And again, Ben Simmons 1-point game. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are shutting down defensively. Yep. If you think of Boston right now and the way they're not playing like Houston and Golden State, where it's basically no defense.
Yeah.
These guys are playing both sides of the court, and it's grind every single minute. So Boston right now is playing a game that, I'm going to be honest with you, I think Boston's going to end up beating Cleveland. I mean, I know, I think Jackman was telling me earlier today, he still thinks Cleveland's going to win it. I don't know, man. If you think about it, with all the stuff going on about LeBron scored a 40-point triple-double, and 3 other players or the rest of his team scored 4 freaking points in the starting lineup. I mean, where's Kevin Love? I mean, honestly, he's deteriorated to me. I mean, Kevin Love to me he's not the player he used to. He's not even a contributor right now. And it's literally LeBron playing the Celtics. Cleveland has no other players on that team right now that's actually helping or supporting LeBron. So I don't think LeBron's got it in him. I will give him a lot of credit, and I know that when he beat Toronto, he pulled it out of his ass, and I wouldn't say pulled it out of his ass. I think he performed and he showed people how good he was. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to be able to take these young guys, man. That's just too much, I think, for him.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. I'm going to go against Boston one more time in that series.
So you think Cleveland's going to win too?
Here's the thing. I like Boston. I like the way they play. I think they're awesome. Had they had Kyrie, I would have picked them as favorites.
Yeah.
You can't underestimate star power at high moments is what I've learned. And somehow, some way, if it becomes a 2-2 series in Cleveland, we got a whole different series again. And
true.
And who's going to win? You know, when it comes down to the best of three,
you got to go LeBron.
You got to go LeBron. So I want Boston to win, but I won't believe it until I see it. It's one of those things.
Yeah. Do you really think though they're going to tie the series up?
I do. A part of me, you know, especially because the world's given up on them, and now we're like, for sure. When it becomes 3-0, I'm going to change my mind, but I won't believe it until I see it, man. It's like, prove to me you can beat them.
Yeah. So anyways, Houston, Golden State, you're saying Warriors.
Golden State.
I'm going Houston on that one. I'm hoping Houston takes it. Cleveland and Boston. I don't know, man. I think right now I'm up in the air. I'm half and half. It's almost like what you said. I think if Boston goes 3-0, then I think I'm going Boston's way. But if it goes 2-2, man, you can't count LeBron out. You just can't. It's just something you just can't do. And I don't know, but that's going to be very interesting. And then I'm going to just go on a limb and go Boston. So if it's going to be, it might be Houston, Boston. You're thinking Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors, Cleveland, part 3 or whatever.
Part 4. I think it's part 3. Jeez, not 4 yet. Yeah, annoying. It's getting annoying. What's up, Scotty? Thank you for jumping on. So the NBA draft happened. I had the whole order brought up. So the Bulls, I don't know. We actually dropped. So Phoenix ended up taking the number 1 spot. They obviously had the most amount of balls inside the lottery system. So they ended up getting Sacramento got number 2. And that's Sacramento actually moved up the most because they were originally 7th and they moved up into the lottery. Atlanta moved up 1, so the Hawks are getting 3. Memphis dropped down from 2, now they're 4. The Mavericks were 3, they dropped to 5. Orlando dropped down 1 to 6, and then the Bulls are picking at 7. We were originally 6. So in the lottery system, Sacramento got basically a gift given to them to jump up to number 2. So when you're looking at it, overall, and then by the way, Cleveland's got another draft pick at 8. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about that stuff.
That's big.
And the 76ers got a 10 pick from the Lakers. So 7, and then the Knicks get 9. The Bulls also get to the 22nd pick via the Pelicans from the Nikolai Mirotic trade. So we get 2 first-round picks this year alone. So when you're looking at overall players in depth, I was talking to Pistolaros about Luka, who's overseas right now in Real Madrid, and he was playing today, and I saw part of the game, and I mean that was the kid's lights out. So I've been watching more and more of him just to see the type of player he is, because everyone's talking so much about him. I know they're saying DeAndre Ayton's potentially going to go number 1. But now they're saying that Luka's old coach from Real Madrid is now in the Suns organization. So there's a huge potential that Phoenix may consider on taking Luka first. The kid's young. He's got a huge upside. Are you going to get more impact out of Luka, or are you going to get more impact out of someone like an Ayton? Not sure, but it'll work either way, I think, for Phoenix. Now, this morning, it was discussed that Phoenix is open to trade the number 1 pick as well. So they're listening to offers out there. So I don't think they're going to end up trading it. I think they keep it. And I think because of Luka's old coach being in the Phoenix Sun organization, I truly believe that Luka ends up going number 1. I mean, the game he had today was amazing. Can he play at that caliber in the NBA is my question.
Well, here's the thing. His style fits into the Suns system.
Yes.
Remember that.
Yes.
So that's key, right? Does he fit into the Bulls? I don't know. The Bulls don't handle that
he's
very
not
well.
going to go. He also announced that he does not know if he's leaving Europe quite yet.
Okay.
So that's the other question too. Now, he was telling people before he's gone. And then today he threw a ball saying, hey, I've got 2 more games. These might not be my last games here. So that threw a curveball to everyone. But if he decides to come here, there's no way he's going to 7. He's going 1 or 2, period. It's going to be Ayton or Luka going 1 or 2, and that's it. Then after that is going to be Bagley. So if Luka goes to Phoenix, I think you're going to go Ayton to Sacramento, and then you're going to have Bagley in Atlanta. Now, when you're talking about Luka, that may also affect the number 7 pick, because right now, if Luka comes to the States and plays for the NBA, you're going to have basically 2 picks. And I know we've been talking about this a lot. It's either going to be Bridges or it's going to be Porter. And I know a lot of people are sort of on a fence with this, where Bridges at least has the maturity level. He's junior, so he's got more maturity. He has no major injuries, and he's a solid player. Then you go to Porter, who, in my opinion, is probably more talented than Bridges, but he's a much younger player. And 2, he's got a lot of injuries where he's got back issues, shoulder issues. So you don't know. I know people are saying there are not major problems, there are not major issues, but and there's even some analysts saying that Porter is probably the most talented player in that draft. So overall, you're looking at the Bulls, if Luka comes here, having to pick between Bridges and Porter. So we'll see what happens. I think right now, as I'm looking at it and researching it more and more, I would lean a little bit more towards Porter. I think it will impact the Bulls greater and in a much quicker fashion, I think, for us.
Yeah, I think you probably build a better team around him too.
They
right?
definitely can. So, I mean, obviously they're going to have to play around with the roster too and see what's going to go on. I mean, the finisher, what's his name? Laurie is going to be the power forward. I mean, you could potentially move him to center. I don't think so. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with Lopez. That's too much money. They're going to either have to trade him. I don't know what they're going to end up doing, but they got to figure something out to get rid of him. But Lopez has got to leave. If they're going to end up signing a free agent center, or they're going to draft a center at 22, we'll see what happens. Zach, they have to sign Levine. So he's going to be your shooting guard. So basically, in my opinion, your point guard and your shooting guard are set. You've got Dunn, Levine, period. Then you got Markkanen at power forward. If you bring in Porter, you put Porter at small forward, and then you're just missing a center in your starting lineup. And you've got one of the best young cores potentially in the NBA. I mean, I don't think he's going to leave, but what if we ended up getting Capella? He's a free agent after this year.
That would be big.
And I actually have been saying to try to get him. I mean,
Capella's a gritty guy too.
Yeah, if you can get Porter, draft maybe another point. Oh no, hold on. I'll tell you the other news, which upset me when I heard it. Draft maybe. I know you got Valentine. Maybe draft like a backup shooting guard, because you still have Portis. So with a 22 pick, draft maybe a backup shooting guard for us, a young shooting guard, and then go find the center in Capella once you get rid of Lopez. I'm also sad into the fact that we got Felicio on like that huge contract. And he's just going to be your backup center. He's not caliber. Yeah. He's not a caliber for a starter. So, I mean, we've got a backup center making starting center money. Yeah. And that I think is a flop too. But there's ways around it where they can make this thing happen and make it work. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I mean, I think if we get Porter and a backup shooting guard, I think you're looking good. The other rumors was that D Rose has been seen in the Bulls facilities lately. So there are rumors that they potentially may try to sign him as a backup point guard to help with the kids. So I don't know about that. I don't know my thoughts about that. I mean, for a kid who's known to be depressed and not really be not have a voice, I guess, in the locker room or on the team. Is that really smart to do? I
mean, the Bulls are desperate at this point. It's like
you don't, yeah, but
take a shot on the dark.
I can't even see D Rose being like a coach. I've never even seen him speak like that or like boss people around. Like I just don't see it. I don't understand why you even. I don't know. I mean, I know that if they sign him and he signs, he wouldn't. For some reason, him and Reinsdorf are like that. And by the way, they actually ended up moving. They ended up moving all business operations to Michael Reinsdorf now. So Michael Reinsdorf is the guy who runs the entire Chicago Bulls system right now. Wow. And then Jerry is focusing on the White Sox rebuild and what's going on there as well too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in the draft. We'll see what happens in the offseason. I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around. There's rumors that Leonard in San Antonio, his people are playing the big game where they basically told him don't respond to the team and don't talk to them. And just they're trying to basically piss San Antonio off. They've demanded a trade. They've been looking for a trade. And then the rumors are that he's asked to go either to LA. And there has been more rumors now that came out that Chicago may be a potential landing spot for Leonard, which would be another great pickup if that happened. But I don't know why he would want to come here.
Exactly. It would be great for Chicago. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be great for Chicago. But I mean, unless they draft some good people and get rid of Lopez, I mean, I don't know. I for him coming to LA, he knows what he's getting. Yeah, but if you think about it, LA and Chicago, they're in the same boat. The only issue is LA's in his hometown.
That's true. And but at the end of the day, it comes down to culture, right? You got to look at the team's culture.
And if you like the coach. So the thing is he going to get along with Hoiberg or is he going to get along with Walton?
But they're both weak coaches, right? I mean, Popovich.
Well, he can't handle Popovich. That's why he wants to leave.
I think
they said right now the relationship between him and Pop is broken and it can't be fixed. It's severed.
He'll talk to him. Popovich will have a conversation.
He already has, and his team already told Leonard not to respond. So it's at the point where I guess this has happened previously, and he just hasn't said much about it. They kept it down low, and it's at the point where he's just like, I'm done. Man, I forgot the guy who was on there. I showed Jackman the thing. There was Steven Jackson, who was on the Spurs.
He was on
came out, and when he was on the Herd, he outright said that Popovich ran it like it was like a mafia. He told players to tell like the media that Parker's the best guy in the team when he clearly wasn't. So he basically said Popovich favored his favorites and that's it. And the rest of the team he didn't care about. And they treated him pretty badly. So he liked, and he said this openly. He's on the Herd. I should have had the skit so I can play it. He said openly he loved Duncan, he loved Ginobili, and he loved Parker. And no matter what, they were the guys, and they always happened. And that's it.
But a team needs that. A team needs its hierarchy, needs its structure. Who's Steven Jackson? What the hell did he do in his career besides start a fight?
There was other guys where he said he didn't like the way Popovich coached and stuff. So we got into this argument as well with LeBron. Do you really think LeBron could play for Popovich? I don't think so.
I don't think so, and I don't
because
think
of the way LeBron is. Yeah, he would get pissed off and leave. Popovich would tell him, "Hey, this is the way it's going to happen. If you don't want to do it, go somewhere else." That's why when you look at LeBron, when he goes to all these teams, he's got weak coaches because in a way, LeBron's the coach.
Yeah,
LeBron's telling these guys what to do and stuff.
But at the same time, he's still got highly paid players, superstars.
You couldn't have. I'm telling you right now, Phil Jackson and Pat Riley couldn't coach LeBron James. And it's not that they're not good enough because they're the best coaches out there, or were some of the best coaches out there to play. That's just, in my opinion, LeBron James. He's not coachable.
I think Phil Jackson could. Pat, I don't know about. I like Pat. I think he's awesome. Here's the thing. Phil, first of all, has that credibility. He's had Michael Jordan. He's had Kobe Bryant. I think the two best players in recent history.
Yeah, but they were different players. Michael Jordan listened to all his coaches, Doug Collins, Phil Jackson. He would sit there and listen. You know what I mean? You don't see LeBron doing that. LeBron sits there, he listens to Lou or whoever the guy was in Miami, Spoelstra, and then he would just jump right up and just start yelling at the team, like interrupt the coach. It's like, dude, Phil Jackson would be like, whoa, no, sit down. And if he wouldn't, then he'd be like, all right, then go to the locker room. You're not playing.
Yeah, well,
I just don't think it would happen. And there's a big difference. I know everyone's like, well, look at Phil Jackson was able to calm down Dennis Rodman. Completely different. Dennis Rodman needed a father figure.
So did Daly, though. So,
yeah, but Rodman needed a father figure. And when he looked up to people like Daly and Phil, he looked at him like a dad. When you look at LeBron James, he's not looking for a father figure. He's trying to be the alpha male.
Well, that's true. But don't you think that a dominant coach can also put him in his place and let him know that he's just a single player and that he can't do it alone? I mean, it's the game of basketball.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I just, that's my opinion on there.
Same.
The other rumor is that LeBron James is going around and telling family and friends that he's leaving Cleveland and that he doesn't think that Cleveland. I think what it is more with him is that he can't go to Cleveland right now and ask him to trade everybody all over again for a second time and within a year. You know what I mean? So it's at the point where if you look at Cleveland, I know they've got the number, I forgot what it was, 6 or something pick. there's not much they can do right now to fix that. So
yeah, and he's not going to let anybody grow. Kyrie left because
Kyrie left because of him.
Yeah.
Look at IT left because of him.
Yeah.
So you got all these players that won, and that's a good point that I'm trying to get to with LeBron. Kyrie Irving's a great player. And he could have been amazing, and he had to leave because of the way LeBron was, the way he played, the way he coached, the way he did everything. And that's what I mean. He's trying to be the alpha male there. Not that he doesn't deserve it. He does. But he has to also – I know people are like, oh, well, he helps out the team more. He passes more.
Who does?
LeBron. I mean, if you look at the end of the day, look at Hood. He's upset too. He didn't want to go in for him. Remember when they said that he was on the bench and they asked him to go in for LeBron, and he's like, no. So you already got players in Cleveland that are there now that are upset.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the guy's a locker room cancer, it doesn't matter how good he is.
I don't think he's a locker room cancer. I just think it's that he bosses people around. Like, he owns the team and he's the coach and he knows what he needs to do. And some players just don't want that. They're like, dude, you're not my coach. He's my coach.
Exactly. It's not his role.
Exactly.
He's not the coach.
LeBron, you're not my coach. I'm sorry. You're my teammate. I'll listen to Lou. I respect you. And then in a way, if you think about it, Michael Jordan did that a lot. If you look at video, he is there talking to players, but he didn't do it in the way LeBron does. When you see LeBron doing it, it's almost like he's demeaning the guys or yelling at them, where Michael would go pat him on the butt, talk to them a little bit, be like, hey, this is what we need to do. This is what it was always about, the we and the team and the this. And I think just LeBron, people just don't want to hear it. And he's got credibility. It's not that he doesn't. He's won finals.
Yeah.
He's won series this year on his own. He beat Toronto by himself.
I think the ego is getting to his head.
It
People
is.
comparing him to Jordan and Kobe, and it's like, dude.
Now, there have been rumors with him being connected to Chicago, too, on a possible landing. Now, that, I think, would be the best thing for his career, to be honest with you.
Why?
Come to Chicago, Jordan's
he won't have any superstars to play with.
Jordan's shadow, and then you go in there and you try to at least win 3 championships in Chicago, Jordan's old team.
He'll go to Golden State.
Here's my theory. I think if he does leave Cleveland, this would be the best landing spot for him, not financially. Well, it could be because we are considered a big town, New York, Chicago, LA. So, yeah, he can be a big market city too. You never know.
Yeah, but who's he going to play with? He won't do that.
Well, dude, if you structure it and get Lopez out, you can keep Markkanen, Porter, he's a rookie. It would be cheap. Dunn is cheap. Zach LaVine would be the only one that has a big contract.
Okay, I know people have been talking crap about Kevin Love, but do you remember Kevin Love's career at the time?
He was
LeBron
a triple-double machine.
Yes.
And now he's nothing.
Okay. What kind of
so
team?
You're saying he would affect a lot of the players here.
Well, LeBron James is going to go play on a team where, I don't know, give me 2 players that are killing it. Maybe Beal and Wall. He might go to the Wizards. I don't know if they can afford.
Well, they're saying Wall might be gone. They want to trade Wall.
Ooh, okay, never mind.
So Beal's probably going to stay. But anyways, so the Leonard issue, we got the LeBron issue that might be happening today. This morning, Anthony Towns announced that he is unhappy in Minnesota as well too.
Aww.
Don't know what's going to happen there. He's going to try to work things out. We'll see what happens. Regardless, this summer is going to be nuts in the NBA, along with the draft, to see what happens. Scotty, Michael Jordan was a better team player, and that makes him better than LeBron. It's comparison. Obviously, I think for people, I don't know how old Scotty is, but for people that are in our age group who've seen Michael play, it's the same thing that people compare with Wilt Chamberlain. People who've seen Wilt Chamberlain play always said Wilt Chamberlain was better than Michael Jordan. Now you got us who grew up in the Michael Jordan era that will always say Michael Jordan was better than Kobe. Michael Jordan is better than LeBron. Michael Jordan, it's just whatever. And now you got kids that are getting raised now, like my nephew, and he's going to sit here and tell you, hey, LeBron's the best.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just the era. You really can't. I think it's a little difficult to sort of compare them, but I mean, in our eyes, we'll never see. I mean, 6 rings. I mean, that's a lot. Oh, by the way, I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up, Scotty. ESPN and Netflix just announced that they're going to do a 10-hour 30 for 30. It's going to be a 30 for 30 type Michael Jordan story.
Wow.
So it's going to be 10 episodes, 1 hour long, and it's going to be sort of like the 30 for 30 series. And I think it's going to be on Netflix, and they are going to start literally telling you the story of Michael Jordan. It's going to start when he was a kid and then just work his way through elementary school, high school, college, professional, all that stuff.
Space Jam.
So yeah, it'll go through all of it. So that's going to be really interesting, and it's coming out next summer, 2019. 10 hours, guys, of Michael
That's
Jordan
exciting.
stuff. That's awesome. So I can't wait for that to come out. So all right, NBA playoffs we went through, NBA draft we went through. I've got a couple minutes, 10 minutes to go over the draft picks for the Bears. Do you got anything else with NBA?
Nope, we're good.
All right, I'm going to send a blog about this, and I'm going to say a lot more about this on our blog. The draft went actually pretty well. I liked it. I think there's a lot of people that are going to have different opinions, but I think that 2 of the draft picks that we've got on our 7 draft picks, so 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 picks, 2 I think are not going to be of any impact. 1 I think people already know. 2 I think this is going to be a surprise. I've been to rookie camp, and I'll just say this: Raquan Smith is the real deal. He is going to be huge impact, instant starter. I'm excited for him on the team. Great athlete. He's a Georgia boy, and he's going to work out very well with Floyd. So I'm very exciting because they're both Georgia boys. They're both from the same college. This is going to be a dynamic linebacking team. And then to have a coach and a mentor like Vic Fangio, I'm just super excited about this. The other guy who's been at camp with Trubisky, who's been there as well with the rookies, which is an also leadership thing that I've loved to see, is that you never see that. Jay Cutler was never at rookie camp. Trubisky's at rookie camp right now. You also have Lynch, who's the new linebacker that we got from San Francisco. He's going to be a surprise to a lot of people. Potentially maybe instant starter too as well. I know when we signed him, people were like, oh, whatever, he's going to be a backup lineman. He may instant start, so we'll see what happens with that, and then we'll see what goes on with that. Anyways, number 2. James Daniels, Iowa, offensive lineman. He's going to move to guard. He was a center. He's going to move to guard. They're going to end up putting White here at center, and then it's going to be Long and Daniels. Looked great. Looks good. Great college career. Here's my philosophy, and I've always said this. You have, in my opinion, players that are from big schools, play bigger competition, better talent, that are in the bigger schools. They're more ready for the NFL. Now, you will find lower talent in Division 1, 2, or Division 2, 3 schools, and that happens. Randy Mosses and so on and so forth. But it's very minimal, and it's hard to find the guys like that. But Roquan Smith, James Daniels, instant starters. They're going to impact our roster immediately. They're going to be good. They've been looking like studs right now in camp. Anthony Miller. This is my bad one. In my opinion, our 7th round pick wide receiver, Javon Wims, is a much better wide receiver right now currently than Anthony Miller. I know there's a lot of people saying that he's a great wide receiver and he's a steal. He's got great hands. He does not run routes well. He's a smaller kid, and he doesn't have that turn-on speed. He's a pace runner. In my opinion, all Miller is a deep threat. So he's a good wide receiver 3 that can be for deep balls, and that's pretty much it. For me, I think as our 3rd pick in the 2nd round, I don't think that I don't have high expectations for him. Will he make the team? I think so, because our wide receiver core is super weak, but I don't think he's going to be an instant impact. And to be honest with you, I don't think he will be a Bear in about 3 years. So we'll see what happens. I hope it proves me wrong, or he proves me wrong, but I haven't even been seeing anything out of rookie camp with him either. Joel, and I'm not going to say his last name, Iggy. I think that was a waste of a draft pick. He potentially may not even make the team. I know they said some analysts said that he might end up making special teams. He's a big kid. He's from Western Kentucky. Didn't look good. I don't think he's going to make it. It just, to me, not an impact type of guy, and we'll see what happens there. Round 5. You had Bilal Nichols, another offensive lineman. He'll make the team as a backup, and he'll probably be on our special teams. He's a big guy. He's got great speed. He takes up a lot of space. Defensive lineman, I'm sorry. He takes up a lot of space, and I think as a defensive tackle in Vic Fangio's scheme, I think would work out perfect as well. Now, my big surprise on top of Roquan and James Daniels being like solid. James Daniels, by the way, could have been a number 1 pick if these teams didn't go for all these offensive, not line, but wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. Kyle Fitz, I think he's a steal. He's your edge rusher out of Utah. This kid is he's a big kid. 6'4", 263 pounds. He was a 4.69 in the 40-yard dash. Vic Fangio loved this kid. This was a Vic Fangio pick. He's got great height. His speed, his size, the strength. He's got great burst speed. He's strong. Overall, I mean, he's already an instant special teams player, but he overall is going to make an impact on our roster. He'll be a backup on the edges, and he'll probably be our backup edge rusher. But overall, I really like the kid, and he's got a lot of heart. Always tries, always gives it his all. I like a lot. And then our last pick was Javon Wims. Javon Wims, like I said, I believe truly that he's going to have a better season than Anthony Miller, and he's going to be a better wide receiver than Anthony Miller as well too. So we'll see what happens there. With Javon, I mean, he runs his routes really good. He's got huge burst speed. He's played with a great team again, and he's a Georgia boy as well too, another Georgia boy. So, and he's played top competition. So overall, I think that our draft picks, besides maybe 2, which is Anthony Miller and Iggy, our second pick in the second round and our 4th round pick, I think overall we did a fantastic job to fill a lot of openings and a lot of necessary needs in our starting lineups. And then at the end, we ended up signing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players. So we ended up getting Niles Morgan, linebacker from Notre Dame. Andrew Trombetti, a defensive end from Notre Dame. So those 2 guys more than likely were picked by our offensive line coach that was from Notre Dame. So we're going to be looking pretty solid there. Michael Joseph from Dubuque, cornerback. This kid is lights out at corner, shut down. He's the highlight of the rookie camp right now, and he's gonna make the roster. So keep your eyes on Michael Joseph. Nick Orr, defensive back from TCU. Ryan Winslow, the punter from Pitt, won't make the team. Kevin Tolliver, cornerback from LSU. He's another stud in our cornerback. So we signed a lot of cornerbacks for our depth from our signings right after the draft, and looking at Michael Joseph and Kevin Tolliver, again, 2 guys, keep your eyes on those guys. They'll make it. Ryan Null from Oregon State, running back. He'll probably be your special team guy. And then they picked up Allen from Hawaii, offensive line. Kevin Walker, defensive line. Rotimi for defensive end. And these guys are all just spot fillers to try to give them a run on the roster and give the starters a little work to see if they're going to be there or they're not going to be there. And then you got Font, his cornerback from Indiana. He looks pretty good and might keep him for his depth. But other than that, I mean, you're looking pretty solid. Draft, in my opinion, was like a B- for the Bears and the signings. There are rumors that, and I don't want him. There was rumors that Des White was in Chicago not Des White. I'm sorry. Des Bryant was in Chicago over the weekend. So we'll see what happens there. And yes, I agree with Scotty. We need a tight end desperately. So in my opinion, Burton was a waste of money. He never proved anything in the NFL. And now we got to be sitting here to try to deal with a tight end that we gave all this money to that's really never proven anything. So again, camp is coming up in July, so that's like a month and a half away, 2 months. So we'll be going there for sure, giving our insight on that. I'm looking forward to camp. I don't think Pistolaros is going to go. He's not a Bears fan.
No,
you're not an NFL fan. Period.
I mean, the Bears suck. I know that.
They're actually doing better, and I think they'll do good. So I think overall they're going to have a better season. I think Mitch is a good quarterback to build off of. Everyone didn't like it when I said I loved him, and I kept an eye on him when he was in college in North Carolina, and everyone's like, "Oh, that was horrible." And now look at it. Everyone's like, "Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's good." So I like him overall. I guess we'll talk about Platini on our second show then a little bit, because we can talk about fixing and stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be more under that realm.
All right, so it's 7:59.
Let's do it.
We're going to end up getting off of Chicago Sports Crunch. We wanted to drop this really quick. Hold on a second here. I am looking for. Damn. All of these. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up going off. Did we get any tight ends at all besides the dude from the Eagles that threw the Super Bowl? No, Scotty. We did not. We are going to leave. Sorry, don't cry.
But we'll be back.
We'll be back. We're going to come right back on. Oh, we didn't go on Facebook Live, but we'll go on Facebook.
We're going on Facebook Live. Don't forget.
So we're going to do a new segment, which is going to basically be called Seinfeld Episode 1, and we're going to go over Cobra Kai. So if you guys want to, stay tuned. We're going to go off, come back on. We're going to go over Cobra Kai and YouTube Red. We're going to have spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, get out. And then we'll, or if you do want spoilers, it's up to you. And then we will be on Facebook Live. So we'll be both YouTube and Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us on CSCR episode 35. We'll be back next week again, 7 p.m. on Friday. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell everybody, buy our shirts. We're going to have new shirts coming up soon. We're going to have a new logo as well for our new WCSN shirt. So I think we'll have new logos for the WCSN shirt. So you can spread the word. I think I'm going to put it. Oh, you know what? We should put it under Hop Hop as he's wearing it.
Yes.
Like you can wear
his blue-purple shirt that he loves.
Yeah, he's been talking the whole show. See?
Yeah.
He's got the mic under. You like Hop Hop, Scotty? Anyways, we will be on in about 5 minutes. We will see you guys in a little bit.